Alright, so this video is about short-term benefits from quitting alcohol. So for those of you who don't know me, my name's Ben. I'm the founder of soberwellness.com, where I help business executives and entrepreneurs get control of their drinking. Me personally, I'm 4.5 years sober. Let's get into the video. So the short-term benefits of not drinking alcohol. So the first thing, which was most noticeable, this is over like a 30-day period. My skin got a lot more clearer. Now, when we go out and we drink, obviously alcohol's got a lot of toxins in it, but when we're hungover the next day, we are eating greasy foods, we're eating sugary foods, because your body is craving carbohydrates and sugars because you're so depleted, your energy's so on the floor, you just want all the bad stuff just to give you that initial boost. So when I stopped drinking, my skin got a lot clearer. Now at this time I was 30, so I think I had this realization because I moved to Australia when I was 29 and I was staying in a hostel for 4 months. And this was the first time I looked in the mirror and I thought, am I getting old? It'd been a night out and obviously alcohol dehydrates you. I'd had bad sleep and I looked in the mirror and I actually had a little bit of sunburn as well. And I noticed all these wrinkles on my forehead and I thought, I've never actually noticed this, but I feel like I'm getting older and I'm starting to age more. What happens when I gave up alcohol was getting better sleep, I'm more hydrated, I'm not eating junk food, so my skin was just a lot more clearer. And my friend, who is been 1 year sober, I actually seen him the other day and I said to him, I can tell that you're sober because your skin's clear. And he said that's what his friends have been saying to him as well. So one of the most noticeable benefits of getting sober in the first initial 30-day period is your skin is going to get a lot more clearer. I would even go as far as saying you'll start to look younger and you'll look more attractive. So that is one of the main points of not drinking alcohol. You keep your youth, you look more healthier, and you become more attractive. The second one is you build a bulletproof routine. Now, just by not drinking alcohol doesn't mean you're just going to have this magic routine that you're going to have given to you, which you're going to stick to. No. What it does, it provides you with the tools to create your own routine. Now, when I stopped drinking, there was no more late nights and there was plenty of early mornings. Whether you're a morning person or a night owl, I'm not entirely sure. But I personally think getting up in the morning before sunrise or at sunrise, having a coffee, getting some work done before the rest of the world gets up, just puts you in just such a positive mindset. For me personally, waking up in the morning early is like, it's the happiest part of my day. My favourite part of the day is getting up in the morning early and getting a coffee, making a YouTube video when everyone else is still laying in bed. It's Saturday morning now, it's around about 7 a.m. I guarantee you there's a lot of people who went out last night, they stayed out till 2 a.m, they might sleep till 11. When you stop drinking, there's no more waking up at 11 a.m. You know that feeling when you wake up and everyone's awake and the world is all going and you just feel like you've kind of let yourself down. You feel like you've wasted the day. What's the point? I may as well just lay and lounge around all day. There's no more wasting days. So you're in bed earlier, you're up earlier. And put it this way, imagine you get up at 6 a.m. in the morning, you go straight to the gym, you come back, you have breakfast, and it's only 8 a.m. You've achieved a big part of your day already. You've got up early, you've got some work done, you've gone to the gym, you've had your breakfast, and you've got the rest of the day to go. So a bulletproof routine is one of the main aspects that you will see early on. And if you're someone who's trying to be successful and you're working towards something, you need to have a bulletproof routine dialed in. You need to have some structure to your life. If you're going out now and you're drinking, you're staying out late, you're waking up late, you're probably not going to achieve what you want to achieve in life. You need to maximize every single hour of the day. So by quitting drinking, you will see in the first 30 days, you will have a solid foundation to build on. Next up is you start to walk taller. You walk with more confidence. You speak with more authority. Now, let's just put ourselves in a position of, we went out last night. We did cocaine. We argued with our missus. We didn't get home till 3 a.m. We smoked 20 fags. We owe 200 quid to our mate, which is going to come out of our pay packet next week, which we have to work all week for, and we have to give half of our wages because of a night that we went out, which wasn't even much fun. How are you going to feel when you wake up in the morning? You're going to feel a lot of regret and you're going to feel a lot of shame, which are the two lowest vibrational frequencies you can be in. When we eliminate this, you start to believe in yourself more. Now, 30 days is quite early on to start feeling this. I will be honest, it takes a little bit longer, but I wanted to put this in because having belief in yourself is the main driving factor to achieve whatever you want to achieve. If you don't wake up in the morning and believe you can achieve something and you don't feel confident, then you're not going to achieve it. If you wake up with guilt and shame and regret, then you're just going to be down there and you're not going to achieve what you want to achieve. People are going to look at you. You're not going to be confident. You're not going to speak with authority, and they're just not going to believe in you. You could meet someone who could potentially change your life. You're always one conversation away from changing your life. It's happened to me, not significantly where it's made me rich, but I've met people at certain times in my life where I've had a conversation and they've completely changed my trajectory of where I'm going. You could bump into that person and you could be so low in confidence that day that you might not even notice them, or you might not have that confidence where you would normally feel in a high vibrational state. You would see this person and you would have a conversation with them, but because you went out last night, you're not very talkative, you're keeping yourself to yourself, and you're not very confident. You could miss out on that one conversation that would change your life. Now, 30 days of not drinking and not doing drugs, going to the gym, eating healthy, and spending 1 hour a day working towards something that you want to achieve will do things to you that you could never imagine. Now, I'm 4.5 years into this journey of waking up and doing something purposeful every day. I think I've spoken about this before, where I've maybe not won the day, let's say, and I'm not losing the day, not won the day, probably about 5 times in the last 4.5 years. So every day I've made slight improvements along the way to my goal. When you can start to build momentum, that's when you get a real mind shift. When you start to build momentum, that's when you get a real mind shift. When you start to build momentum, that's when you get a real mindset shift. And for me personally, I've been doing YouTube for the last year. Previous Ben wouldn't have had the confidence to just put the camera up and start talking. I mean, even now as I'm talking to you, there's like people outside looking at me. And I probably would have curled up into a ball and been really shy and stuttered my words and, oh, don't look at me. But I don't care anymore. It's because I've got this mindset shift now that whatever I set out to do, I can achieve. And this rolls into being enthusiastic for life. So when I stopped drinking, I think it was around about the 6-month mark of being sober. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to go get some modelling photos done. I was living in Sydney, so I booked a photographer. We did a photo shoot in Paddington. It was like on like a street area. So I had like my suitcase, I like had this blazer, I had this white t-shirt, I had this black leather jacket, I had like all different outfits that I could put on. And we went out and did this photo shoot. And I just took a chance on myself. I thought, I'm gonna pay for this photo shoot. I'm gonna have some modelling photos, and then I'm gonna go to these modelling agencies uninvited. I'm gonna knock the door and say, look, I've had these photos taken. Can I apply? And that's exactly what I did. Previous Ben would never have the confidence to do that. I drove around at 5 different modelling agencies in Sydney, knocked on the door, uninvited. You're not meant to show up. You're meant to book by appointment or email your photos. I just turned up, knocked the door. I think 2 of them I went in and they considered me and they took some photos for me. I wasn't fortunate. I didn't get any work from them, but I was able to have the confidence and the self-belief to take the photos to the agencies and put myself out there and apply. And I'm quite glad it didn't work out now, because modelling for men doesn't pay very well and it's a lot of work and it's just not something I'd want to do. But that's just one thing that I can say. You're more enthusiastic for life. I bet there's one thing that you want to do in your life, but because your energy levels are so depleted and you feel so much guilt and shame, and you don't have any money because you're going out spending all your money drinking, you never actually get around to doing this thing. So you have more enthusiasm for life. Now, if you're sober curious and you like what you've heard in this video and you're thinking, yeah, maybe I want to be a bit more attractive, I want to walk a bit more taller, I want to speak with more authority, I want to be more confident, I have just created a 7-day course. You will see the link in the description. Hours of content in there. 7-day course. I recommend if you do the course, do 1 module a day. There's plenty of questions that you want to ask. You want to take a pen and paper and write down the answers. Obviously, as the course goes on, I will tell you why. But yeah, if you're sober curious, I promise you, just go 30 days without drinking and see what happens. It'll change your life.